Hey guys, this is Johnny from Johnny Jigs. Some of you may have caught our last video from the Yankee Capt, but there was a big part of that trip that I left out for a reason. My crew and I, we love slow pitch jigging, but at the end of the day, we're truly about the adventure and the experience. We filmed and are going to share with you the biggest wahoo I've ever seen caught by an angler named Phil Alves. This guy, I believe, deserves to be recognized. He's a professional fisherman who has caught many wahoo in his life, but nothing like this one. Phil is sponsored by SA Fishing Apparel Company, and I was stoked to be able to get him in my studio for a chat. Hit that subscribe button for me and take a listen to my conversation with Phil, followed by this epic catch.
Me, Cam, and Colton came down and we brought a bunch of baits, a ton of gogs, a bunch of blue runners, bonitas, kudas, kings. I mean, our expectations were high. You know, Pulley Ridge is a place where you can go and one fish can potentially make the whole trip, you know, which was apparent. And you can catch the biggest black, your personal best black. You can catch big gags, scamps, big muttons. The opportunities are endless, you know.
Right. So you were working down the rail, and I seen you switch from a lot of different tactics. I mean, you even flipped a bait out to catch a dolphin, and then you were jigging as well, and you were switching it up. Like, did you come prepared, like hoping that you were gonna get a wahoo? Like, were you geared up for that?
Yeah, I brought my 50 wide with me, just hoping that we'd get to troll in between the drifts. And Greg didn't put the sea anchor out for the majority of the first and second day, so yeah, I trolled in between every drift, and the mates, you know, they helped me out, and I just came prepared with everything. I bring 5 rods, a 50, 2 bottom rods, a pitch rod, and a jigging rod.
Right. The trip, like, up to that point, like, I mean, we definitely had a grind. A few anglers did have a good trip where we're putting fish in the box, but a lot of us were grinding it out. Like, where were you at that point up to catching this fish?
And I was struggling. Cam was putting a hurting on pretty much everyone, and pride myself in an angler, so it was definitely a hit to my ego. But that being said, I mean, I've seen big wahoos caught at Pulley. I mean, I committed to trolling every single time I could, and I don't know, it happened, you know?
Yeah. So pink and white. Why pink and white?
So I had been trolling a high-speed chrome head, black and purple, and then I switched over to a heavier black and purple. Then I put out a blue and white, and I started talking to the mate Tony, and I asked him, hey man, what should I throw out? And he said my personal best came on pink and white. You know, I told him what I had. He said put the pink and white out, and I put it out. 10 minutes later, had the fish on.
I know guys, they set their rods out there trolling, and then they just disappear somewhere else in the boat. You're hoping that somebody's gonna let you know that your rod's going off, but were you sitting there or just wandering around?
No, so the first couple trolls, you know, I was sitting in the back of the boat watching it, but most of the guys were babysitting their rods. But I don't know, I went inside and just hung out with Cam and Colton, and out of nowhere I hear a reel screaming and Tony just screaming my name, and it was like game time. I thought it was gonna be him. I thought it was going to be a who. I just heard it screaming. I knew it wasn't a cuda. I knew I was fishing heavy drag, and I knew I was fishing the right setup for a big wahoo.
So just from your experience from working in the business, stuff like that, you hear that screaming, you know, you kind of know that this is the fish you wanted.
Yeah, nothing runs like it. Nothing runs like a wahoo. Nothing bites the way a wahoo does. It's ferocious, there's head shakes, and they just scream line faster off your reel faster than any fish.
I can imagine as you get to the rail and you start reeling it in first, like you start cranking on it, like what goes through your mind?
A lot of things. Hoping that Greg stays tight on it, hoping that I can stay tight on it, and hoping that I don't pull the hook, hoping he doesn't head shake and bite me off. You know, a lot of things go through your head, but knowing that it was him, it was just a rush, you know, just nothing but focus.
Wondering did I time my connections right? What about this connection? And
yeah,
just hoping that everything is just set up. I mean, I had a lot of confidence. You reeling it in, and then Captain Greg on the controls. I mean, I was like, if anybody's got a chance to get this fish in, it's you two guys, and then the mates that were on the gaff. And then we got to the point to where, you know, you're hand lining, you know, the last of your leader in, and Captain Greg is just screaming over the rail like, if you guys miss this, headshots only, nobody's getting paid. And once they both, I mean, they had basically a perfect gap shot, both of them. Once they sunk it in and you started seeing the head go over the rail,
It's just bliss knowing that I've caught a lot of wahoos and that being my PB. When I saw him, when I was leadering him, I knew he was big, and I knew he was the biggest one I've ever hooked. And as soon as they gaffed it, the lure came out, so I was screaming at him to get it in.
All right, Phil. Talk to me, baby. What happened?
Greg, give me some speed. Give me some speed.
Greg, you're making me go.
Huh?
Greg's gonna make me
All right, I need some speed.
I want to stay tight.
Kev, can you give me gear? I want to stay tight to him. Just a little bit. Perfect. Got it. Move your rods all the way up.
When it hit the deck, it was just nothing but adrenaline, happiness, like best feeling in the world. You're just on top of the world knowing that you just caught, you know, your biggest wahoo, you know, when you've caught a lot of them over time. And that's my favorite fish, wahoo and snook, you know, so